Hello, my beautiful warriors. Our Coochie chat of the day is manifestation. A topic that's a little bit taboo, maybe not always fully believed, and that's the problem. We're going to talk about it. But I do believe in the power of manifestation. I think it's real, and I think there's a non-way to manifest, not to bring it to life, but to allow it to live as it needs to. So before I get into that, let me tell you what inspired this whole manifestation talk. I recently went to an island in Portugal, in the Azores. It was beautiful. It's an island that you get off the airplane and you step out of the airport and it's already gorgeous. You're like, oh my God, if this is the airport, then what is the rest of the island? And it just continues to impress. I mean, as we walked the island, I was like, oh my goodness, I could just live here forever. It is fantasy. And as we reached the place that we were staying, the groundsman was lovely and he introduced himself and we got to talking. And I asked him, what is it like to live here? Because it's just amazing. Everywhere you look around is these amazing mountains and trees and natural life. And the sounds are just so quiet and there's no pollution. I mean, yes, I loved it. And he tried to be positive at first, say, oh yeah, it's great. But I could tell that there was an undertone of something just resistant and stuck and even frustrated and a bit angry. And so I asked him again, I was like, no, really, what is it like? And to get that full story, you have to go to my site, patreon.com/movementclasses, where today I posted a somatic connection class on the power of manifestation, because it is an embodied practice, which I explain more there. And I also give detail to the story, which is, I think, very insightful and important to the practice, but it's also important to this talk. But I won't go into the details here. I'll go into just the basics of what we need to know. So he said, at first when you get here, it just is lovely and it's amazing and you can't believe that you're living here. But it quickly gets stale and old because every day is the same. See, there's not a lot of people that live on the island, nor a lot that's happening outside of the natural world. And to me, that's a lot happening. But just to say there's not shops and restaurants and, discos, and it's not that kind of world. I could tell that he was very frustrated with this and he was feeling stuck. And he wanted out, but he didn't see a way out. And I asked him, if you could go and do anything right now, where would you go? What would you do? What's your dream? I was trying to help him manifest something because I thought that he needed that power of belief again. I mean, his body language was so down. He was almost like he was giving up on himself, on his life, on what was possible. And at first he was like, oh, nothing, I'm stuck here. This is my job, da, 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 da. And then we talked more and more and he became more comfortable. His body language started loosening up and that's when I knew I could throw again. And I said, no, really, if you could do anything, dream up anything right now, what would it be? And he paused for a long, long moment and I sat with him and there was this energy. It wasn't silent, though there were no words, but there was this energy building between the talk that we were having. Was like when the power of belief was coming up again, at least something, a little seed. And then he said, India. He almost surprised himself when he said it. Like, where did India come from? And I said, India? What does that mean? And he said, whenever I get a chance off this island, I go to India. And there's a lot of energy there for me. And maybe what I'm doing here is helping me to build something there. And when he said that, ooh, I get chills and I feel like I could cry from the excitement just thinking about that moment. It was like a door was, broken open. And all of this belief, all of this stuff that was underneath it. And yes, there was a little bit of that rage and frustration still, and maybe unsureness and doubt, but it just exploded up. It threw all that negativity away, and up came the power of that something else was possible. And he paused for a moment because he felt it and I felt it, and we both kind of waited for it to settle. And then he said, what's your name again? What do you do? So it was a really beautiful moment, and who's to know how that continued. And in this talk, we'll talk about not only the power of belief, the planting the seed, the bursting the door open. But then what do you do with that long term? This is really about sparking that possibility in you. You know, I really do believe that anything is possible, no matter how impossible it may seem. If you have that feeling, that little tingle, that moment where that formless thought passes by and something in your body goes, ooh, it says, ooh, what was that? Maybe that's possible. Maybe that's what I desire. Maybe I want that. Maybe I can make that happen. Maybe that's for me. Maybe I deserve that. These are all such beautiful, beautiful waves of energy coming at you. They shall not be dismissed. So first is the seed of belief. The seed of belief is, like I said, that little thought that passes by and everything in your being and essence goes, And it's not clear. The mind won't be able to make sense of it. It doesn't have words. It's completely formless. And it could even be just like a little cloud that comes up and puffs away. I think this is the important moment where you go, interesting. And you don't just go, oh, that was nothing. Never mind, I can't do it. Because that little seed of belief plants the whole idea of possibility. And so usually when that happens, we either dismiss it or we try to put into action, into words, into understanding, what am I going to do? A, B, C. But I don't believe that that's the way manifesting works. Yes, it's the power of belief, but not the power of belief here. It's the power of belief in the soul, the spirit, the essence, the body. And it's a hard thing to explain, right? Because it's formless, but I'm sure that you've had that moment where your body kind of tingles and straightens up a little bit, just like the groundsman. When he said India, it was like he went from being crunched in and closed in and scared and crowded to like, ooh, his shoulders just kind of went back and he went, he took a breath. There was this deep breath that happened and his eyes opened up. It's that. And sometimes you have to catch it. You have to catch it quickly because the brain will dismiss it very quickly. Oh, no, you know, that monkey mind. Oh, no, we can't do that. No, it's impossible. So all those things are going to come on top of it and kind of smush it down. And you want to be really present when that little moment of comes, that you at least give it its acknowledgement and validation. Next, watering the seed, right? A seed isn't just going to grow on its own. It needs to be nurtured, cared for, watered. And so how do we nurture the seed of manifestation? The intention has to be in the right place. It's not really going to manifest if it comes out of greed or selfishness or envy. And also I feel like manifestation knows when you're desperate and it kind of gets turned off. And so there has to be a patience and a respect for the process as you're manifesting, right? It's not about getting there and making this thing that you want to come true, because it's not a thing, it's like an aura, it's an energy. And so you're surrendering to the idea that if this is meant for you, it will come in whatever shape or form or formless that it's meant to. And that's the beautiful thing about manifestation. There's a lot of magic in it. It's really about cultivating an awareness to your deep desires and knowing that you deserve it in the most truthful, authentic, and curious and creative ways. And then being open to the universe to deliver it as it sees fit for you, and you being available to the unfolding. See, it's much more magical this way. And it'll surprise you because it'll appear in ways that you could have never imagined. And I promise you, in the end, it will be all for the better. The gift will be much more profound. There will be much more growth, much more evolution, much more gratitude. There will be more presence. I promise you this is all going to be, and you're going to think of me. You're going to go, Watering the seed. Believe that watering the seed starts first in that formless energy, and then it's embodied. So the way that I really embody it, water my seed, is I make sure that I come into a daily practice that's consistent, that I commit to, that I devote myself to, that I never say, not today. Because you know what? Universe is going, oh, really? Not today? Well, then forget it. I don't feel like working today to manifest your dreams either. So yeah, what you put out is what you get back and vice versa. And so it's about showing up consistently. I cannot say this enough. And the way that I do that is I show up consistently to my practice. What is my practice? It's a practice of embodiment, of being connected to that deeper self, to the essence, to the soul, to the spirit. It's about coming into the physical body and reminding myself that I am here, and I am here for reasons that I may not yet know, but that I believe that if I am here with trust and authenticity and love and well intention, then it will unfold beautifully. And it'll make a lot more sense once you start doing the practice and you start to experience it in your body and emote it through all the physicality and the sound and the energy that you have. Really, really important. You water the seed by showing up, allowing the beauty to unfold. Oh, this is so important. Sometimes when we manifest, we don't see that it's actually unfolding because we have such a strict idea of what we want it to look like.
Amen to that.
And what it's supposed to be. Oof, I do not like the word supposed to or should. And let me tell you, when you don't see this, universe looks down and says, they ain't ready for this. And she's absolutely right.
Amen to that.
Because a huge part of manifesting is surrendering, letting go of ideas and attachment and concept and structure and the way that it's supposed to be. Most of the times, it won't show up the way that you want it to, because she's smart like that. Sometimes you even have to decode it, and it'll show up testing you, making sure that you're paying attention, making sure that the gratitude is at the forefront. And it might not show up in pretty ways. Oh, no, she's not going to always hand it to you in a perfect little package. It's going to ask you to go through something a little bit challenging first before. There it is. And so yes, manifesting unfolds in unexpected ways. And this is also why the practice is so important. Because when you're practicing surrendering. You're practicing gratitude. You're practicing letting it be what it is. You're practicing noticing, becoming aware. And all of these tools are needed to be able to see what the universe is dishing out for you. It's like if you don't know the language, you won't understand. And I smile because it's such a beautiful world when you allow yourself to move into it. And the word that comes to mind is vulnerability. Vulnerability is essentially the embodiment of letting go. And the lesson is to trust. The idea has come, I have embraced it, and then I trust that whatever the universe gives me is meant for me, and I walk through it with eyes open, open heart, open mind, gratitude, and let's see what she has in store for me.
Oh, yes!
It's such an amazing journey. We couldn't write this stuff. And so when the mind wants to write the narrative, again, of what it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to pan out, it will work against you. It will say that you're the one that's doing it wrong. You're the one that's fault. You're the one that's not trying hard enough. You're the one that's doing this or that. You're too much. You're not enough. Blah, 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 blah. And all this noise actually shuts the window down on manifesting. In order to manifest, you got to open the window, pop your head out, and
yes!
Ah!
Amen to that.
Manifesting requires deep self-evaluation, self-reflection, embracing fears, truthfully asking yourself what you want and what you don't want, but not holding on to that idea either. It's like you can make your visual board or your blueprint, and after you've taken in that information, you've kind of looked at it, crunch it up and throw it away. That's why I love manifesting, because it's really about presence. And so what's strange about it is you're going, yeah, but you're manifesting about what I want in the future. But it has to do with what's here right now and what you've always felt in your heart. So there's this beautiful interconnection between the past, the present, and the future. But the borders that connect past, present, and future are very thin, very transparent, and they blend into each other. And all the colors come together to create one. And so we all love that phrase. It's not a destination, it's a journey, because it is ever shifting and ever changing. It's getting comfortable with the unknown, staying open to what is. The seed of belief. Water that belief. Allow the beauty to unfold. Embrace the unexpected. And remember, you're allowed to believe in something that might feel impossible. And maybe that's the mantra you take away. Let's say it 3 times together as a practice. Close your eyes and take a breath. I'm allowed to believe in something that might feel impossible. Say it again. I'm allowed to believe in something that might feel impossible. One more time, open your heart, open your wings. Surrender to the idea. I'm allowed to believe in something impossible.